Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Sada and today we're going to be talking about how to make nutrition simple. I've compiled a list of tips for you that have helped me in my journey of eating healthier and hopefully will help you as well. So before we get started, I just want to touch on what my definition of eating healthy is because it may be different from person to person. When I say eating healthy, I mean a diet focused on whole unprocessed foods with an emphasis on plant-based meals. So keep that in mind as we go through this list. So my first tip for you is if you have never eaten healthy before, if you have no idea where to start, and you just want to take it simple and slow, start off with replacing one of your meals with a healthier one. I personally think breakfast is easiest. Maybe for you it's lunch or dinner. That's okay. Just pick whatever's easiest and simplest for you. The reason I say breakfast is because a lot of components of breakfast can be grab and go, and they're also very easy to prepare. You can even get them ready overnight and take them with you in the morning so that you're not struggling to make a healthy breakfast when you're just trying to get out the door. So some examples of healthy breakfasts that I personally make on a daily basis or that I would recommend to you are whole grain toast with jam or a nut butter, oatmeal that you cook yourself with seeds, nuts, nut butters, fruits on top, chopped fruits, or chopped vegetables that you can take with any sort of dip. You're trying to focus on nutrient density, so keep that in mind as you prepare your meals. Number 2, have something fresh in every meal. Have something raw and uncooked in every meal, or have something healthy in every single meal. We just talked about how to do a meal replacement. When I say fresh, I mean, for example, to your lunch, add a small salad. To your dinner, add a small salad. Add a fruit as dessert. Add some chopped vegetables with hummus on the side. Add seeds, add nuts. These are fresh things that you can add to your meal that will increase or improve the quality of your food. Number 3, this is a big one. Remove sugary beverages. I often find that when people are trying to eat healthy, they don't realize what impact sugary beverages can have on their diet. They think that just because you're drinking it means it doesn't really factor into the calorie intake, but that's not true. And the fact of the matter is sugar is hidden in absolutely every beverage you could possibly purchase off the shelf, even that green smoothie that's marketed to you as healthy. So if you're looking to make a smoothie, for example, make it yourself so you are empowered and you know what ingredients are going into it. Skip that coffee or tea, or if you have to have it, don't add the cream, don't add the sugar. Absolutely cut out soda, cut out fruit juices. Fruit juices are usually made of fruit from concentrate and then are stuffed with cane sugar. If next time you're buying a juice or buying a smoothie, just check the label and see how many grams of sugar are in it and ask yourself if you really want to include that much sugar in your diet. So the next thing I want to discuss, meal planning. So meal planning is a huge one, and when I say meal planning, I just mean that I want you to be empowered and I want you to know exactly what you're having in advance before you have it. Doesn't mean you need to have everything measured out, doesn't need to mean that you have everything packaged in advance for your week. It just means that you have to be prepped ahead of time and know what you're going to be having for your next meal. For me, this takes the form of writing down what I'm going to be having for the week for my breakfast and lunch and dinner. I don't include measurements, I don't count calories, I don't do any of that. I just want to have a general sense of what I'm going to be having for the week. Then I recommend cooking either once or twice a week. If you choose to do twice a week, make sure your ingredients for that second meal that you're going to be cooked are prepped in advance so that it makes the whole process simpler for you. Personally, I like to cook Sunday night. I make sure I use ingredients that will keep for the entire week, or at least keep for 3 to 4 days so that I can continue eating them. So meal planning is a huge one, and I'll tell you why. It's because those moments when you want to snack, those moments when you're hungry and you didn't expect it, you're ready, you're prepared. And from my experience, from my personal experience, when you're ready, you're more likely to eat healthy. And I'll give you 2 examples of this. I'm always hungry when I come home from work. I am ready to devour whatever's in my path. If I don't have anything prepared, I will more likely than not go to my pantry and just take whatever I want to eat, and I will just snack for the rest of the night, and that's not healthy. There was also this one time where I had a big salad prepared for lunch, and I was really craving pizza, and I guarantee you if I hadn't had a lunch pre-prepared, I would have gone for that pizza. But because I planned in advance, I empower myself, I take control of my own diet, and I don't let any sort of food addiction or craving control me. And that's really the goal of this, is to be in control of your own life, your own diet. Processed foods. So we want to eliminate all processed foods, and when I say processed foods, it's exactly what it sounds like. Any food that has gone through any sort of processing. For example, I would choose rice over pasta because rice grows that way, and pasta goes through some sort of processing before it takes on the shape that it does when we cook it. So yes, they're both carbs, but not all carbs are the same. So choose your foods wisely. If you can go for less processed over more processed, go for the less processed. And another point I want to mention here is cooking your own food. I know that's not a favorite thing for a lot of people, but it truly does keep you in check. It truly does help you stay on top of what ingredients are included in your meals so that there's not too much sodium, there's not unhealthy preservatives, you know exactly what's in your food, you can remove things that or ingredients that you might be sensitive to, etc. So that's really, really important. If you have a horrible sugar craving, if you have a terrible sweet tooth, like myself, the best thing I recommend to combat that is to go cold turkey for a certain period of time. That period of time is dependent on you. Years ago, when I first acknowledged the fact that I have a serious sugar problem, I went cold turkey on sugar for an entire week, and it was extremely difficult. Now I can go a period of 2 to 3 weeks or a month without having any sugar, and that's a lot easier for me than it was back in the day because I've slowly been eliminating all processed sugars from my diet. So that's the first thing I recommend you start with. You just have to go cold turkey. It's hard, I understand that, but sugar is an addictive food whether you like it or not. So you have to go cold turkey. You have to stop consuming it for a certain period of time so that you can get in control of your taste buds again. If you're not ready to do that, then the best recommendation I have for you, which will probably be, it'll probably make it harder to cut that sugar addiction, but you know, it's a step in the right direction. Replace any sort of sweet dessert you have with fruit. And this is personally what I do. I love fruit. Fruit is healthy for you. It's full of nutrition. It's full of fiber. And studies have been done that show that when people add fruit to a diet that has not changed, they tend to lose weight instead of gain weight, even though it's a net calorie addition. And I will link the study or the research below in the description so you can take a look at it for yourself. But fruit is good for you. It's extremely healthy, and it's a great source of actual healthy sugar instead of, you know, the processed junk or the processed garbage that we're used to consuming on a regular basis. If there's one thing that you heard today that you feel like you can totally apply right now, just do it. Just take that first step. Oftentimes, when we're not ready to do something, the way that we procrastinate is by making it sound or seem a lot more complicated than it is. It doesn't have to be that way. Pick the very simplest tip that you heard today if you aren't ready to apply more than one, and just do it. Just commit to starting. Tomorrow's Monday or tomorrow's Tuesday or whatever day it is, just commit to starting the next day. You can do it. Be ready for it. Take control of your own life. We're empowering each other. We're empowering ourselves. We want to be in control of our lifestyle. That's what I'm trying to teach here. I want a healthy lifestyle to seem a lot more accessible to you. I don't want it to look like this glamorous lifestyle where you're drinking green smoothies out of mason jars all the time and you always have your salads prepackaged and super cute and healthy. No, that's not the goal here. We want healthy as a term, as a lifestyle, as an ideal to be accessible to you. Whatever that looks like for you, you can do it. So thank you so much again for watching. If you have any comments, tips, questions, concerns, anything you want me to speak about in the future, anything you'd like to talk about one-on-one with me, please let me know. I'd love to discuss it. Thanks again.